This is episode 516, Last Stand, and you're listening to the Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Nicole
Hello.
and Evie,
Good day.
and this is the Previously On.
It is. So here's a bit of a fun fact. Back in '85, RDA starred in a MacGyver episode with the exact same title, Last Stand.
Oh.
There you go. Did you notice Renal had crystals on her left the left back of her hand?
Oh,
Yes.
no, I didn't
Activate
know
the
What
that.
about
rings.
it? Ah, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I wanted to call this episode the one with the symbiote sushi.
Oh God,
which is
yeah.
in honor
Man.
of Morgana Kaufman, who is the Gate World
Jana.
reviewer. Sorry,
Morjana.
Morjana. I keep on pronouncing her
right.
name incorrectly. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. She's not
I
around to
think you
defend herself
trying
anymore.
is
so.
important.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Go ahead.
Evie, carry on. Morjana.
No, that's it.
Oh, you're
Oh,
done.
that's it.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
So I said what the name of the title was in her honor, and then I
Got
credited
it.
her. Yeah.
Beautiful. Done so.
Oh, here we go.
I will say the symbiote blood thing with the symbiote sushi. I always get confused about what color symbiote blood is supposed to be because I feel like it chops and changes
Yeah, it
depending on
does
the mood.
change.
Yes.
So,
Uh-huh.
because isn't it blue?
So,
this...
It's,
No,
If
not
you
blue.
guys look
Is it
really
blue?
carefully,
It's
you'll
blue
see
in
that
the
the
first ones.
safety is still on the tip.
it
Oh.
is.
It's got like a little cap.
No.
I'm not seeing it.
I think
I
it was
think I
more
saw it for a
visible when
second.
she first brought it out.
Yeah.
where you
Oh,
saw,
okay.
I think I
the
saw it for a
light
split
Interesting.
second.
glint off it.
She could hurt him if she wanted to.
And she could. If the safety
Gecko Fett
wasn't
said, now I want sushi at 11 p.m. and no shop serve it on a Sunday this time.
on.
Evie, this is your fault.
I honestly didn't see this one coming in. As soon as he did that, when I was watching it the first time, I was like, "Oh man, well, that's
Yeah.
it. That's over with."
It does kind of suck because then it means that there could have been a really interesting
Yep.
team up between these
I was hoping
two,
for a
Yes.
whole payoff of some sort,
which is
because
what
I
makes
always
this
loved
fall
that
short. Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
So, speaking of relationships, like Robert C. Cooper mentions that they often cast actors hoping for on-set chemistry.
Yep.
But they felt that they hit the jackpot with Michael Shanks and Anna Louise Plowman
Oh,
because
yeah.
their sparks really flew when they shared the screen.
Oh, you know who sparks are really going to fly? Him and Claudia Black. So excited.
Mhm. Where did he say
Oh,
that?
that's
Do
like
you
a
recall? Was
whole
that
2
a
seasons.
Dial the Gate quote?
The one that I just said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I
good.
believe so.
Oh, good. I'm glad we have that. Jacob is still there.
Just saw my ex. It's all tense.
Oh boy.
So one thing I actually would have wanted from this episode that actually I grew up wanting as a child. I don't understand like why I wanted it so much, but this is something I really held on to and why this next episode always
What's
kind of
that?
bothered me. Was I always wanted just a bit of that internal fight between Sarah and Osiris. Like I always hoped that something would happen with the symbiote thing that like well not the symbiote thing, the weird prick thing that made the symbiote
Mhm.
kind of go away for a minute.
Mhm.
And like by some miracle, and then for Sarah to come out for a
Oh.
second. I always wanted that, and I don't know
But
why.
when they're fighting in Yu's shuttle, there is a bit of a moment where you see her recognize him. Just
Yeah.
for a split
Yeah.
second.
I think that's maybe where it stemmed from. Where like I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I would have loved to see Sarah pop out for a minute.
So he needs more information here. Now he's been pushed to
Yeah.
the edge. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I've got to complete my
Mhm.
mission. But
Mhm.
let's see whom she
This
represents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this whole episode is just Jacob waiting on standby.
Yeah. He does a lot of waiting on
Please
standby.
hold.
Like he's always on standby whenever
Yeah.
SG1 needs help. He's like, oh, you're lucky. I happened to be in that area of space when you guys
That's
rocked
right.
up.
That's right.
Happened to be here on a cloaked ship.
Yeah, very convenient. Jed Ted Osiris is so hot. Yes, and you know what?
I've
She's
always loved
aged
her.
like a fine wine because
Yeah.
I saw her in The Witcher a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and damn, is she beautiful still. So
She's declined my request for an interview, and
Oh,
you
this
know,
is
just
so
nothing
heartbreaking.
I can,
She's your
nothing I can do
favorite.
about it. Yeah.
Oh, this makes me
there's
so sad.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll catch her at a convention sometime.
She was supposed to go to one of the London Comic Con, not the London Stargate conventions that were held by What's Their Faces, and she backed out at the last minute.
She did.
Yeah,
I remember
we
that.
remember, yeah.
I assumed that she had gone, and then I found out
If I
years later.
ever catch her in the UK, David, I will go and like tell her how much you love her and maybe get a little few questions with her. So
I would love to sit down with her for 10 minutes.
yeah,
All right, how do we dig ourselves out?
yeah. Tilk's about to get stabby with it like a child in the play box.
He is.
Robin said the symbiotes do actually look like it's fish they bite into. Anyone know what that was made of? Was
I
there like?
do. I'll get into that later.
Oh, good.
you know? Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Evie.
She can sit in that chair. Those are wooden chairs. They are not comfortable.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
We collected them. They were heavy as hell.
I bet
We
they
sold
were.
them, and man, the shipping was hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, they don't like any cushion really, do
Nope.
they? To sit on.
They didn't have cushions. Not that I saw. I mean, or not that we sold. Okay, so he was going to do it.
Hmm.
I think Ball's almost like kind of respecting her like audacity.
Yeah.
There's like a slight smile there, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like you, but I appreciate where you're coming from."
So Cyrus isn't like, an actual system lord. She's like that person who like applied for the job and got it, but like didn't actually like know what on earth it is she's technically really doing. She's just rocking up and doing the hustle, and everyone's like, wow, we respect it, so we're gonna hire you.
So apparently they took care of him. They thought they did.
I would have
now...
loved to see a
Yeah.
flashback of the
Not.
attempted murder.
Yep.
I would have loved to see it.
Yeah. He probably
just has,
found
like,
Keb
long-term-
after they tried
Yeah.
to kill him. So his
Just
chips were
playing the
down. It's like,
long
okay,
game.
let's go here and talk with Oma and figure out the ascension. And then oops, no refunds.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But they're pissed. Like the older ones, Ball, you is the only
Oh.
one from that era who
I
lived
think
during
they,
his time.
Yeah, I think they look scared, and it's like really
Yeah.
rare to see a
Mhm.
system law show any fear.
Mm-hmm. I think
And what's
Ball
funny-
would have known because he was a Canaanite god, so I think Ball would have
Yeah.
known
Yes.
Anubis as well. But anyway,
It's quite funny that they're also terrified of like him as a Gould, but like he's not just a Gould anymore. He's an ascended being, and we don't know that
Mhm. We
as,
don't
as
know
like
that,
fans
yeah.
yet.
No,
so
we
it's
don't.
so exciting to see.
Yeah.
we've got
so,
Jaffa in the tunnels. Ooh, crystals.
Robert C said that he really enjoyed introducing a villain off screen first. So
Yeah.
he liked talking up how awful they are before we actually see them.
Mhm.
And this way the audience builds up their own image of the bad guy before they even appear on screen.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Anubis is one of the rare times in TV where the hype for me was like where the reveal was as good as the hype.
Yep.
Because when he
Mhm.
came in and he had that big like shield holding
Yep.
his soul
Because
in, what?
it asked more questions.
Yeah, it
So-
was brilliant. Like he wasn't just
We,
this elusive Gould. He had so much
Uh-uh.
more.
Yeah.
We missed Jack's like throwaway line of the bodies are gone. And I think it's funny they leave it to Jack to explain away budget cuts with a symbol.
I
Yeah, it's a fair point. They're hanging
didn't consider
lanterns.
that. That's funny. I thank you 200 for explaining that to me. Hang a lantern
hang
on
a
it.
lantern on it. That way the audience knows that I intended to do that, and we move on.
Yeah.
Look at how.
Oh.
Ugh. He's been away 1,000 years.
yeah.
Like, bro's been working on
He's
that
been
ascended revenge plan.
Plotting and scheming.
How long do you think him and like Oma were like buddy before like she realized
It could have been a
she
while.
perceived?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I think it was quick. Oh,
This is the thing. It's like, how unspeakable can you be past eating your own kind?
I know.
That would be
You
the
said
unspeakable
that.
thing, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, you said that in one of your
I
interviews,
always-
and I was like, yes, I totally agree with you.
I always wondered, like with the Gould, there are so many and so many Jafar producing Gould that I was always like, well, there can't be this many gods running around. So
Yeah.
they've got. I know there's a way to enslave them, but what are they going to do? Because not all of them are going to be able to
Mm.
become gods. And the solution being they eat them because why not?
Well,
It's like
this
it
is
makes
a-
sense to me.
This is a new
so,
development because
Yeah.
previously they were saying that the Gold have been showing zero population growth and we don't know why yet. And then
Yeah,
Daniel
it's that.
says in this episode, I think I know why. So the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
situation is changing.
I
But
just think it's a fascinating way to get rid of potential future enemies just
Well, yeah.
by eating them.
Mm-hmm,
So-
mm-hmm.
that's the thing that I've never understood. If the Gold are so important, why do you put them in the guts of your frontline foot soldiers?
That's what I thought. But if you're
So-
planning on just killing them and just using the Jafar as enslavement and you don't want more gods running around, then yeah, I guess it's
I
okay.
guess so. If they're the
Yeah.
Golds of
Yeah.
your enemies,
Yeah. Like Apophis, he had for his wife, he had that really hot lady. who was obviously not your standard Jafar. So, yeah. By the way, Lockwatch just made the best joke. Evie, you must include this week or in a future meme. Lockwatcher, I am stealing this. Just confirming now. Teal'c grabs only the IKEA furniture crystals. Like, imagine if he just grabbed those ones.
Yes.
Oops. Oh,
Oh,
I really like
that's
that
so
one.
funny.
I love that you read our mission files. It's like we do this all the time.
Oh.
Miracles occur. Oof.
Yeah.
I know, it's just rough because he's like, what a joke. So it's kind of ironic that Courtney's return to Stargate came at the expense of his character.
Mhm.
Right. I'm glad we got to see him again in Atlantis just because I love
Mhm.
him so much as like an actor. So like he's somehow able to pull off the adorable Bean, but also strong, smart one in the
Yeah.
times I've seen him, and it's like, oh, love you.
They're still bombarding, even though they've got Jaffa down there.
Yeah, well, they don't care, do they? Just, they
No,
might...
they
I
don't.
guess
They're
if they're
getting
not reporting,
The
dispensable.
symbiotes later.
a few of them are getting knocked out and they're not reporting back to the surface. I guess they're like, okay, bomb it again.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
Jafar expendable, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes, depending on the situation, so...
Oh boy, here we go.
Finally reported back. Good, good. I can't tell if he got hotter or not, like from outfit changes. Like he lost some of that makeup and the earrings that like I really loved about his last outfit. But this outfit
Yeah,
is like way
and the
more like
headpiece
yeah. But
and the very short skirt.
this is so subdued that I'm like, oh, but like you're still a beautiful man, but where's the beautiful outfit, you know?
No, this is more like it's quite regal.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't take him as seriously as a leader if he was wearing like the Carmen Miranda fruit hat.
I love that it's just forever the Carmen Miranda fruit hat, like
Chiquita.
always. Oh, so good.
Daniel's shoulder pads kind of remind me of the Green Power Rangers shield. Jed Ted says, yes, this is true. It's the same kind of thing. I don't know what you call it. It's not a brooch. It's like a...
No.
It's like a... It's just a shoulder guard.
Yeah.
So
It looks cool.
A Reddit person commented that Last Stand effectively made viewers care about Elliot despite him being relatively new.
Right.
So they pointed out that Sam's Tok'ra experiences aren't heavily explored in later seasons.
No.
And they compared
Because we
this
lose the
to
Tok'ra
other
a lot, so.
unresolved relationships in the series, like those involving Jack, Teal'c, and Daniel. And they felt that this episode provided good closure for Sam regarding Martouf through her final moments with Lantash.
I agree.
And Joe Malozzi said bringing Lantash back without Martouf worked, but it sort of lost a little bit of its emotional impact. And he actually joked about having Carter kiss the rubber symbiote prop. That was just to tease the other writers.
I always thought that she should kiss him on the cheek or the forehead before she walks away at the end of the episode.
Oh,
You know,
I
I like that she like
to
touches his
friggin'
face.
die, you know, for you. Give
Yeah.
him a smooch on the head at least, you know. Lantash is in there for crying out loud. Whoop.
I love that
Even
that
just
Daniel.
a squeeze of the hand would have would have been
That was
fine.
probably there off screen.
Yeah. I feel like
Daniel
this moment,
holds,
like
Janet's hand as she dies. We never see that, but Michael and Terrell talked about that.
he thinks that this is going to go inside him, right? He thinks that like they're all going to get implanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks that they're going to become
It's like, no, snack time, darling. It kind of reminds me of of like Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows. He constantly wants to become a vampire. And so like all the other like familiars of the Gould all want to be like Goulds. And Daniel's like the only one that doesn't. And they're all like, oh my God, I can't wait to get implanted one day. And it's like, you're not going to, darling. They're going to lose their power if they do that. Someone made a good point. Jed Ted said, did you just call me Blob? The guy who plays the partner was in X-Men Wolverine Origins as one of the team members. So he was in with Ryan Reynolds in like a bunch of killing scenes because they were part of a team. And so Deadpool and like the partner and Wolverine, I was sitting there watching it going, what the hell? And this was like 10 years ago. So
love when all your fandoms cross together.
honestly, it made me so happy because they filmed in Canada, so it's going to happen. Also, Dan Ben said, "Do you think season 5 is the saddest season?" I do,
Yeah,
in a
it's
lot of
pretty
ways.
Yeah,
It's
devastating.
one of the top
yeah.
ones.
I mean,
For
season
sure.
7 as well is pretty devastating. It's season 7, isn't when Janet dies.
Yeah, I think 5 and 7 are pretty neck and neck.
Mm,
I think season 5 in particular bums me out because of all these like smaller deaths, and then like the Toker being almost like wiped out here is
wiped
pretty,
out, yeah.
And Daniel,
It's like,
It's
this is a lot
perfectly
of
square.
pressure.
yeah. Well, it's square on the top.
That's the thing, yeah.
Like, thing is, like, what is a square?
A
What is a
square
cuboid?
is 4 sides.
Yeah, but are they equal sides? Because there's a
Yeah, they
rectangle
have to
A
also
be
a
rectangle
square.
is in equal sides. A rectangle is a square. But a
Yeah,
square
'cause
is
technically,
all squares are not rectangles.
right? God, that always threw me off the square
I didn't
rectangle
learn
thing.
this until college when I was looking at math problems.
Whoa,
So,
really?
yeah.
Really? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, because I found all rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
learned that when I was about 6.
Yeah, good
so-
for you.
Which ones he pulled out this time? What did he say? I missed it. Was it rectangle? Doesn't he say rectangle? And that's what bothered me. I feel like that's why I brought it up. Because I feel like it says use the square, use the rectangle, and I'm like, that's still a square
That's such
or
a
something.
cool effect.
It
It is
really
a cool
is.
effect.
You're gonna
It's
run
pretty
out
decent.
of crystals pretty quickly.
Yeah, I assume it's one use only. It sort of just absorbs
Yeah, it
into the hole
disappeared.
that you've
Yeah.
planted it into.
You would think that you could walk to the end of the hall and you'd find it, or a new
Yeah.
one of that design and pick it
Oh,
up
like
and
it'll
keep
just
going.
pop up at the other end.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Jed had said something I didn't say earlier, which is the bowl decoration on the symbiote bowl with all the gold in there. That was a very cool decoration. I do
So
agree.
Yes, it is very
I
cool.
have the concept art for that somewhere, and it's
Oh.
Gimme.
amazing. It's beautiful. It's 1-to-1 scale. And
Actually, I would love for you to
Wow.
send me some of the digital concept art you have so I can print it and put it on my shelf.
I
So
can do
Yes,
that.
you should. That'd be really cool.
Oh no, I can't.
So-
I don't have anything.
No, why would you?
So I think Osiris might want to consider a career change. Like with those kinds of persuasive skills,
Yeah.
she'd make one heck of like a parole lawyer.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, Your Honor, my client may
Yeah.
have enslaved a few planets, but it was just a phase 1,000 years ago. He's really turned his life around.
This is a huge line right here. This is a huge admission. How can we
Well,
continue
yeah.
to claim to be gods if we cannot act
In
like
front
them?
of their like
Mm.
human slaves.
Yep.
And like that Daniel does bring that up in a second, doesn't he? When he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, aren't you
it
worried that
suggests
they talk
that
about
they're
this in
going to
front
be
of us?"
killed.
Yeah.
So
There's now an argument saying, aren't they all parallelograms though? They are quadrilaterals. This is too much, guys. This is too
Oh
much for
my
my brain.
God.
The comments. Someone figure it out.
Oh, I really love Osiris's like legal gymnastics.
Mhm.
Like,
Right?
I bet the Asgard didn't see that loophole coming. About, well, he's dead, so the
yeah,
treaty
but
doesn't
you,
apply.
if there's any gold who's a straight arrow, it's you.
What
So-
that's why I love you so much. What I love about the interactions Osiris is having is just realized what I said. About what Osiris is having with everybody is like Zaparkna tried to like kind of bring her down where he was like, oh yeah, and you're like a hot lady, like yeah, blah, blah. And he kind of tries to bring her down to just being like a hot woman and that's all she's got.
Yes,
But like she's not
yes.
using her sexuality at all during all this mental gymnastics to try
No, she's
and
not.
get her way. And I love that. She's so fierce. She doesn't need that part. She doesn't utilize it because she's got so much other stuff. Not that there's nothing wrong with using it, but it's just nice to see her not reduced to that. So, because I was worried that when I looked back at this few years ago, that she was going to turn out to be
Yeah.
like the seductress of Goulds, like Hathor.
No.
So, and she is not the god of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So.
Mm. No one's coming, man.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not go all dark side with our thoughts.
Yeah, you'd have to disappear
Well,
into
you've gotta
the
stay optimistic.
woods for a week or two until Zapakna
Yeah.
would give up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
big honkin' rock.
Yeah, yeah, forgot about that. Carter, I can see my
My house.
Oh god, so good.
You didn't tell me this.
Yeah,
You weren't going to be
Yeah.
around.
and they were gonna be dead.
Like, you kind of expect more from Jacob. Like, to quote Jack, he's been very cloak and daggery.
Yeah.
He's being very Tok'ra about it, you know.
Yeah,
like
he's been very Tok'ra.
he is still a Tok'ra, you know. Not, I love the Tok'ra, and I get why they're like that, and it's hard to kick the habit of constantly hiding
Yeah.
everything. So I'm sad that the Tok'ra are going to have way less involvement in the show from like season 7 onwards. It really breaks my heart. I know they're a pain, but you know, oh, like she's suspicious. She's like, what's up with this guy?
Oh boy.
So,
I
so
like
I've
how it
always
gets
wondered,
less
like,
enthusiastic
yeah,
as it goes down the
like
line.
the first two are like fist bumping, like
Yeah.
the other
Very
women are like, yeah,
minimalist,
whatever,
yeah.
you know.
It's like a twitch.
Yeah, she like barely accepts. She's like, nah, I'm not into this. Or like, oh yes,
Yeah,
I can always
you
rely on
standing
you.
his ground. You go.
You is like, I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, I think this episode really like solidified for me why I love you. I think this is actually probably the first time I ever saw him. Because I missed season 2 and 3 on my first run. But I remember seeing him being like, oh, this guy's like speaking sense, or not speaking, but because he shook his head, but you know. And every other time I saw him, I was like, wow, it's reasonable. Do we know what that translates to? Does it translate to sushi time?
I've not bothered to
Sushi
translate
time.
it. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't translate it. Okay, so I'm going to preface this next sequence by saying that the actors were actually filmed biting into long burritos stuffed with noodles and beans. And this was
Interesting.
later transformed into live symbiotes with CGI. Martin Wood described the scene as a bit of a unique challenge. Apparently it required multiple takes over an hour, and the
Over an
actors
hour?
were continuously
Eating burritos over and
biting
over?
into the burritos without swallowing and spitting the contents into buckets between takes. And Martin said that the cast were very patient and good-humored, which was essential because it was like an unusually like long and lengthy filming process. But I think I'll be abstaining from burritos and noodles for the unforeseeable future.
Wow.
I did always wonder what was in there, because whenever they do the biting into it, it really did look
Yes.
like they were ripping out like like some little innards, some noodles and stuff.
It
So
is noodles, yeah.
yeah,
So,
exactly. So yeah, great.
Also, in like previous episodes, the symbiote blood is shown as like bluish in color.
That's what I
but
said.
there's, like,
Yeah.
no visible blood.
But they just,
I
I mean,
biting
they
into
I
them.
mean, if
I wish they
if there
poured some
was,
dye
they-
into the noodles.
But they would be squirting. I mean, that
Yeah,
is
they
a
would be
traumatic
squirting.
way to go. That's like a human
Yeah.
being being pulled apart. You know?
Yeah.
There would
Yeah.
be there would be showers.
Yeah.
So,
So,
what? I mean, it is
someone-
cable. So
Blue shower.
A Redditor said the Goa'ulds were not just egotistical, overdressed tyrants; they were also delicious. I was going to say as well, like, kind of on the same topic of Goa'uld cannibalism. Kaufman theorized that this act might harm their population, sort of similar to Kuru disease in 1950s New Guinea, like cannibals, which might be affecting like their zero growth population growth. And
God
another
forbid they
theory
get any
suggests
more
that-
insane.
I know. Another theory suggests this cannibalism could be a form of population control.
That's
Yeah.
what I
Only
thought it was.
surviving symbiotes getting hosts.
Yeah, because if they can't all be gods, you know.
Yeah,
awful.
exactly.
But it's also
But
a
I
new
think it's like
development,
a-
according to Jacob. So
Like that's what I
Yes.
found weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a Goa'uld kind of world out there. And I think the lesson is don't bite the hand that breeds you.
Wow, Evie.
Yeah.
Wow.
oh gosh.
Oh dear.
Don't talk with Ball's slave.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid move because he's
Yeah.
going to be fiercely loyal to Bal, right?
Yeah.
And
Or you
ultimately to the
assume-
Goa'uld.
Yeah. Yeah, you sound a bit suspicious of everything, Daniel.
Exactly. You're showing your hand. Like, just keep it to yourself, bro.
Wait, yeah, he doesn't realize that this guy's been indoctrinated. You know,
Yeah,
he's lived in
exactly.
probably a Gould run facility his entire life.
he
They're
could have
told that
he could have
implantation is
assumed-
pleasure.
Yeah. But I meant, like, bless his idealistic heart.
May I
You're
speak honestly with you?
basically
Oh, God.
Preaching freedom to someone who's dreaming of a symbiote timeshare.
He's literally, yeah, dreaming of enslavement. Oh, God.
Timeshare in your head.
Yes.
God. Oh, Daniel, you stupid man. I love you, but this is one of the stupider things you've ever done.
I guess he's hoping that it would, like, because, like, he thinks, I was going to say he thinks they're going to get implanted, but he doesn't, because he just watched them eat the symbiotes.
Maybe he's looking for a buddy, for like a hope to try and, you know, undo the Gould reign
Yeah.
over the galaxy.
I mean,
but like,
he's also
yeah.
thinking at this point that because the system lords have been discussing things so openly, and these guys have heard that would possibly mean that they're going to be killed. So he's trying to save this guy's life by, you know, exposing the truth. But
yeah,
I meant, like, as we said, he's just so indoctrinated at this point.
it's really sad.
And now Daniel's showed his hand, so
Very silly.
mm-hmm.
Well, maybe your
He
endless
thought,
pleasure
like,
of power,
it was
bro.
just worth a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very silly of him to think that, like, that the shot was worth it.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
think he just thought there was probably a time.
Yeah, I think it's
time
his
restriction.
naivety, you know, it's him
Yeah.
just being Daniel.
Thinking with his heart, not his head.
Your strategy was a weak savage. Love it.
Savage.
Just absolutely she's roasted Bastet so hard.
Totally.
Oh, he's about to pull out all the stops.
He owes you nothing. You killed him.
Yeah. So do we know what, like, so was Anubis's plan to, like, rock up and, like, wipe them all out?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's his plan. He has technology that he has obtained from his knowledge as an ascended being.
Yeah, because I've seen what his ship can do with the Eye of Ra. It's mental.
That's right, exactly. So that's his overall plan.
I just think, I guess he kind of wanted to kind of be able to confer with them and be able to be invited back, and then when he has the right positioning and power, he can then just eliminate them all at once. And
He's
then
eliminating
boom,
their
go.
external enemies, and then he's going to start pitting them against one another.
What's sad is that if Osiris hadn't turned up for Anubis, then Daniel would have cleaned up for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, Anubis would have not had to do anything. I love her necklace.
Yeah,
as
would
well.
have
It's beautiful. Very
fast-tracked
Egyptian.
his plans.
Yep.
It would have fast-tracked his plans, yeah.
Totally love the dominatrix style thing that the dude is wearing behind Morrigan.
It's
like she goes to bed with him with a whip and collar.
Honestly, like, I imagine that he's
Yeah.
chained to her bed every night, or like
I
her
suspect he's
sarcophagus.
in there. Yep.
Yeah.
Morrigan is of the carnal pleasures, I'm sure.
I wonder if she and Hathor had like some banging parties back in the day.
Yeah, they might have done.
Bastet.
Honestly.
Kali,
Oh, yeah.
Morrigan.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Bastet when it was Kali earlier? Oopsie poopsie. I don't know I can't remember which one is which. Because
all good.
I don't remember the mythology behind either of those.
Did you not watch Indiana Jones when you were growing up?
I've forgotten, and I haven't seen them in a good 10 years.
Oh,
so.
there's some good
Basset
ones.
the one
Yeah.
that's like related to cats?
Yes.
Is that Basset?
Boss.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Okay, but that's Svarog's slave, but okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I can go and do that.
I think he just found like the one person. Maybe he really needed the loo, you know. And she's like, "Oh, this guy clearly needs to pee. I'll pass that on." I don't think your new plan's gonna work, buddy.
I love this.
Ted says,
this
"Is
shot.
Yu's
It's an
actor
interesting
still alive?"
plan.
I believe he is. What annoys me is that Yu is the only like system lord that I don't want to slap. And this is going to make him look weak when he rocks back up and he's like, yeah, so my slave was actually he betrayed me, he wasn't actually mine,
I
like
don't
there's some
know.
bad stuff.
He for a global senior citizen, he has some serious throwdown.
Yeah, but Daniel's gonna escape him, right, and like bugger off and with Jacob, and then you's got to go back with like tail between his legs, being like, "Yeah, my slave's disappeared," like, you know, and then Osiris is gonna be like, "Oh, the slave was Daniel Jackson of the Tari," and they're gonna be like, "What? You decrepit old man, you're useless," you know? I feel like that's the conversation they had afterwards. So
I don't think she figures it out, does she?
she knows by the
No,
end, yeah, because Daniel tells
yeah,
her,
well,
doesn't
yes,
he?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he does.
So I feel like it would have all gone to hell for you. Like I feel like it would have lost even more power in the System Lord group. I'm not gonna lie, right? So you know, like age shouldn't always matter in some things, but I feel like you need to use older wisdom in the summit in order to make sensible decisions. And I don't want you to lose power. I
It's one
love
of the
him
few
so
times
much.
we've seen a cargo ship docking collar.
Yes, that's a good point. Oh, girl.
All right, got her.
Yeah, and then you's gonna ruin it.
It's like me trying to put one of my cats into a cage.
Oh yeah.
Daniel, don't stab yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You just like wiped
Oh,
his face
here we
and it's
go.
facing him. Uh-oh.
So now Osiris thinks that you did it.
Yeah.
You was trying to help. I feel bad.
He keeps on getting stabbed in this show.
He doesn't deserve it.
Does.
I love that she's like telling him what she's gonna say afterwards. She's like, "Oh, perfect."
Uh-oh.
Boom. See, I always wanted Sarah, I think, to come out of this and
Uh,
like quickly
Yeah.
kind of wake up a little bit.
I wanted you to weaponize the hat hair combo thing that he had
Yeah,
because it fell off during the fight. He could have used it to like strangle her or something.
yeah. That's some strong hair he's got.
He's out of there.
I really did love that moment. Like the
That's
way she's
such a
just
cool
so
sequence.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
so mad, and it's Daniel's
Yeah,
escape
she's
is so
pissed.
good. Yeah.
It's very quick thinking from Daniel.
Like honestly, you've got to go back with his tail between his legs now, being like, "Well, got stabbed, you know, and my slave betrayed us." You know, it was a pretty awkward interaction. Like,
And she's not supposed to have weapons on the space
This is
station,
true,
So
so-
how
so-
did they
oh.
explain that?
maybe they're gonna have a little chat, being like, "Right, we both made mistakes. Okay, let's not tell anyone
Let's
what
not
happened."
tell anyone. They probably just agreed to keep it between themselves.
Yeah.
because they both effed up.
I love how they're kind of using the staff weapon as like a makeshift splint.
Yeah,
Yes.
very clever.
Well, I think it was just resting with him.
It was probably just resting
Yeah.
with him. I
Thunk.
love how this keeps happening. They keep beaming things in and then falling over.
And then the gravity, yeah, kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put the needle on your face.
Yeah, I would have stabbed myself with it several times now.
Yeah.
Well, like Jacob did warn him not to do that.
Don't do that.
What will happen?
What would happen? We
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
That should scare
No
you.
clue.
Look what you said. Yeah, you are still alive. Yep. From previous discussions,
Vince
I've known
Cristeo
that.
is,
Yeah.
is still alive. Yeah,
And sadly, we've lost both Jake and Ball. Yeah.
we sure have.
Sadly, with age and time, like, you know, these actors we're gonna start losing them because we're gonna lose everybody. You know,
Yep.
that's just
Yeah.
time.
Sooner or
innit?
later.
So yeah.
I know.
Understood now why the gold population is showing zero growth.
Yeah, we're eating them. Haha.
I wouldn't mind being carried around that way.
You know what? San Diego Comic-Con, I wish that I was being carried around like that. That would've been amazing.
How was London Comic Con?
Oh, well, it was a way smaller convention. It was delightful in comparison. There's no chaos.
There you go.
Very good.
And fewer people, I imagine.
Yeah. But San Diego is chaotic and it's part of its nature and it's magnificent in its own way. I'm not gonna lie, he has really luscious lips as well. Like I know we're always talking about like Simmons having really luscious lips, but Zapakna has great lips.
We're still working on it.
He doesn't threaten him with death, though. He just says, just don't come back.
I love that. Do not bother to
Well, it's,
return. Like, what's the point?
It's
Yep.
unusually lenient.
I quite like Zapagna. I'm not gonna
Zapagna was solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
solid.
this
He
is
could
his
get
last
it.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we assume, and Joseph Malazzi says that the poison killed him. So he deployed it
I was going to
at
do
some point.
do a summary of what happens with the System Lords from this episode at the end of this episode.
So that is a modified Zatark detector. So the upper attachment is different. The bottom is the same piece.
Gotta love it.
Guess if
their
someone comes
rescue
and saves us.
it's not going to look so good. You guys returned to the wrong planet.
Yeah. Tokra SOS. There's someone there.
Jed Ted said zappy lips with a bunch of like kissing
zappy lips. Yeah.
Zappy lips.
So it is an SOS. Lips. So that would be so it would have to be Jack and Sam.
Yeah.
And Tel, don't forget.
This is a great practical effect.
Yeah.
The series did not do a ton of practical effects at this stage, but the trees were one of them. And they did a great job.
They do a very good job. Very good job.
And when the cargo ship settles, look at the nose and watch for the amazing disappearing mud on the nose of the craft.
Okay.
I was going to say, I believe that the wreckage appears as the Oz crash site in 200.
Some of the footage was reused. Yes.
Some of the footage, them
right
looking up at the sky.
Reused.
This is used. Yeah, I was about to say that. Oh dear. There's your rescue.
No, that's from that was from the beginning of the episode, I think, when they were on the Furling planet. But yeah.
Yes, it is.
This is a lot of these elements are practical.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
This does look amazing. This is great.
Yeah, you can't really fault it. It looks good.
Right now, watch the nose of the ship when it settles. A lot of the mud just disappears into the ship. Did you see it?
Yeah, some of the mud that was slipping on the sides and the front. Yeah,
it just disappeared into the ship.
Yeah. The CGI on that mud wasn't top tier. Look, he's going to fling his thing in a second. The white thing on his muscle. You're going to see him get annoyed with it. It's hanging half down his arm. Look, it's coming down.
Yeah, that would get annoying.
He doesn't need him anymore.
Yeah, but wait for it. He's like,
huh. So
I always notice that. I don't know why.
His joke about advanced races lacking seatbelts might be a nod to a long-running Trekkie joke about absent safety features on starships.
That's true. Now, is the continuity going to be the same? I think. With his armbands? I think he's wearing it again. Is he? No, is it still?
No,
off?
I think. Is it? I think.
Did he get the other one off too?
I don't remember. I think I checked this and I went, oh, I think he pulled them both off because he got annoyed at both.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if he kept one on.
We just saw him pull off one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember if he like still had both. I just remember
off the second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got the one.
He's just got the one continuity
stage. He does.
Good job, Michael.
Good job. That works.
It's Stargate doesn't always do continuity because it's a lot of episodes a week. Continuity is tough, and that one little thing has made me very happy with all the other goofs that we have on Goofgate.
So apparently they don't save the cargo ship until a few episodes from now, but they wait for the Stargate to be cleared once Elliot executes the.
Yeah.
Lockwood just said, luckily there seems to be a freshly mowed path on the planet. Yeah, where they were walking down.
For sure. There's a farming village nearby.
And you're basically a ninja.
Oh.
Here we go. What do you say? What's your thought?
So, Joe Malozzi pointed out that this episode was a real game changer for how SG1 portrayed the Jafar. At first, they were kind of just like cannon fodder. But as the show went on, the Jafar became like way more complex characters.
Damn right.
And he said that this episode's like mass Jafar killing is a good example of something that didn't sit right as the series evolved.
Mm-hmm.
And they started diving into how the Jafar were actually just pawns for the Goa'uld,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which made wiping them out not as simple anymore, sort of like morally speaking.
Yeah.
And according to Kaufman, this scene shows a pivotal moment for Jack because he's forced to challenge his no man left behind principle.
Yeah.
And she also said that she was really impressed with Courtney's portrayal of Elliot.
Because he's so
she
damn
loved
good.
how he played this young soldier facing death on his very first mission, which really stood out to her, was like Elliot's selflessness. So she felt that the writing and the acting in this scene's like really packed a punch.
100%.
Yeah.
Elliot's an absolute gem. I love him. I'm sad to see him go, but you know what a way to go.
But it's internally
such a hero.
inconsistent. I mean, Jolinar died inside of Sam's body, and Sam's body absorbed it. But apparently, all other circumstances, the death of the symbiote releases a poison of its own. So, okay.
Goofgate.
Yeah.
So I think, David, you brought up something interesting in your interview with Courtney. You talked about this moment when we hear the Jafar's horns and footsteps, and we're really feeling for
it's
Elliot.
so haunting.
And, you know, he seems so alone and vulnerable. But he's actually not alone. He's got Lantash with him.
It's true.
Yeah,
And
they're in it together.
you know, you brought up how this ending like really left a mark on you back in the day. And what struck you was how Last Stand wrapped up so abruptly.
Yep.
But in like a really clever way. Like the show didn't spoon.
God, he's so scared. You could see
it doesn't.
It,
Yeah,
like,
but you don't need
us to piece together things like together with the information we have.
Right. You don't need
and
to
that's what
see
made
everything
it so powerful.
to see that they get out. Yep.
Oh, this is such a wonderful goodbye. The way that Jacob's like, okay, we gotta go. But like, there's moments there, like where he was kind of trembling a little bit, like you know, he's in pain, he's scared,
well,
you know, honestly, this is such an emotional moment. Losing Elliot was so painful for me, and I only met him briefly before. So one episode.
On a lighter note, one person on Reddit said, the loot goblin in me dies every time I see this episode, all those weapons and ships left behind.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give like a quick overview of the different Goa'uld we saw. So Callie is a one-hit wonder. She vanishes after this episode.
Yep.
She's
Val
mentioned.
was obviously our breakout star.
Yeah.
Bassett and Olacon are mentioned as killed, and it's good to be king. Morrigan surrenders to Baal. Svarog likely perishes in the Sentinel, and Zapakna is named in the Warrior and the Abyss, and you and Osiris obviously return for future episodes, and Anubis will obviously become our main villain.
And Jaren was Simon Ayama. He was credited in this episode, interestingly enough, even though he doesn't appear.
I think quite a few actors were credited in this episode because they appeared in the first part.
Interesting. Well, it's usually not customary in the knowledge that I have that if you appear in the first part, you don't necessarily get credited in the next part unless it's like somehow combined. But well.
I'm really glad that we got to see Elliot again, and I'm absolutely devastated to see him go. That scene always hit me in particular. It's so well done.
For sure. It's a good show. Last Stand, everyone. Thanks for watching.